Osito Panda!
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. You're so many. My name is Jaime Cortez, and if you have seen me do readings before, you know I tend to work in a couple of different themes of stories that I like telling. First of all, I like telling stories about children inflicting upon each other grievous human rights abuses with no adult intervention in sight. When I'm not telling those kinds of stories, I like to talk about the appalling, embarrassing details of my sexual escapades as one of San Francisco's foremost pro bono sex workers. But for this evening, we have been asked to be more rated G, and I'm going to be rated G for gay. It's going to be, on this stage tonight, you're going to see me do the third gayest thing I've ever done, which is talk about musicals. But the story is more, in some ways I was thinking about this little story, and in some ways it's a little bit of a gay creation myth of mine. And so I just want to share with you some teen, angsty, hopefully entertaining story here. In 1981, can you hear me okay, by the way? Yeah. Okay. In 1981, I was 16. That fateful year, my high school theater teacher elected to take me and two other country mouse drama geeks on a very special, very particular field trip. She packed us into her four-door brown sedan and took us all to San Francisco to witness our first ever, honest-to-God, real-life, professional musical! And it was a chorus line. Now, you must understand that I was the kid who would hang out at the public library after school looking at theater books. Yeah, I was hardcore like that. And I knew that this musical had won the Tony and the Pulitzer and the Drama Critics Award and all kinds of shit. So I was so excited. And I was ready for this. At home, I had the original cast album from the musical. And every day when I got home, I would take it out of the sleeve, and I would put the LP on the turntable, and I would drop the needle, and I would listen intently, and I would just stare at the picture of the chorus line dancers on the back of the album cover. And I would lie on the carpet with my ear to the speakers, and I wanted to just crawl into the music, crawl into the stories. It was teenagey that way, you just wanted full communion with your shit. In addition to this, I had choreographed numbers to two of my favorite routines. And in my youthful but highly considered opinion, my choreographic work was sublime. I have always wondered how it is that my drama teacher ended up choosing which boys to take to San Francisco that day. Miss Billstad was a committed, hardcore theater evangelist. And she was also a really serious, committed Christian lady. But that day, her 3 dates to the musical, we were, to a man, teeny queenies. The first of us, the junior of the group, he had come out to the entire school of Watsonville High School in the most spectacular fashion. At the talent show, he came out and did a prancing, pirouetting routine to Irene Cara's Fame in a unitard. Watsonville, 1980 unitard, put it together. The second boy was self-aware but discreetly closeted. I was not even closeted yet. I, like so many rural kids in that pre-internet era, was so uninformed and so alarmed by my own sexuality that I could hardly name it, let alone claim it. At that time, Watsonville's population was at about 17,000. It was a big-sized town, but it was very sparsely populated. And our school buses would lumber past these apple orchards and the proverbial strawberry fields forever. And there I was, going for the first time to San Francisco. And there I was on a subway train, listening to the BART train thunder through the tunnels. And there I was, sitting on that train, pretending to be one of those kids on, yes, you guessed it, Fame, on his way to his artsy high school, where his fabulous, super stylish, talented, polysexual classmates awaited to do a production number. And there I was on the crowded platform, rocking the coolest little outfit I could possibly pull together. Blessedly, I can't remember a stitch of what I wore, but I am certain it was just awful. Riding up the escalator at Civic Center Bar was one of the most profoundly cinematic moments of my life. I was evacuated from my body, except for the eyeballs. I was all eyeballs, like movie camera eyeballs, just sucking it all in. And I cocked my head upward, and I saw a slate-colored sky. And then we got to street level, and I saw rows of English sycamore trees planted there with these kind of knobby branches reaching up like arthritic fingers to the sky. And then I saw buildings, and there was old buildings with kind of ornate scrollwork, and there were modern buildings with these sleek lines. But most of all, I saw people. So many different kinds of people. And they all seemed so interesting, not like the people in Watsonville. They seemed to have some kind of story they were dragging around behind them like a wedding train. And I was most interested in these men in these pants that were too tight even for the latter days of the disco era. It was alarming. Watch these men in their tight pants, these men who walked so close to each other that their shoulders just bumped and bumped. And in some sub-basement of my thinking, I knew that they belonged to me and I belonged to them. At this moment, in my cinematic memory of this is the part where the violins and the cellos would just kind of swell, because I was immediately, completely crushed out on San Francisco. I was besotted with that city almost instantly. It's remarkable. And it wasn't just any kind of crush, it was like teen crush. It's like that body slam, fuck you up crush, your ribcage full of daisies crush, is it me or did everything get real shiny all of a sudden? The musical was a triumph. We were in the nosebleed seats on the upper part of the balcony, where the chairs had clearly been designed for the much smaller theater goers of the early 20th century. But it didn't matter, we were so happy. My friend had bought binoculars, and through them I was ogling the bulges and curves of these chorus boys. It was the most tantalizing thing, until he ripped the binoculars from my hand and said, "Stop being so obvious." I remember sitting there as one of the characters haltingly came out as a gay person in the play, and I couldn't breathe, and I was completely thrilled and completely terrified because I didn't want anyone to see how intently I was focused on this, because I thought they'd figure it out. When the play closes, there's this big production number, right? And I'm in tears. I'm in tears because the dancers look so proud and so pretty, the way they're high-stepping, and they got these top hats, and they're yada, and it looks so pretty, and I was so thrilled. And I just clapped, and I clapped, and I clapped, and my hands got really raw and hot, but I kept on clapping to the end. And then I bought a souvenir program, and then I ran out to the back entrance of the theater and waited for the performers to exit. And everyone that came out, I would tell them, "You were so great, you were really great, you were super great." And they were really nice. They gave me their autographs, and they walked off into the dark glamour of the night. As I walked back to the BART station, I said to myself, I'm going to live here. That was not a wish. It was much more serious than that. It was an intention. And 13 years later, I did what weirdos and queerdos and hucksters have done for decades, to the point of cliche. I moved to San Francisco. And there, under cover of fog, I spent my seasons. And there, I learned love of place. And there, I unlearned love of place. I see now that the first day I visited the city, my life trajectory was shifted. It was almost imperceptible at first, just 1 or 2 degrees of deviation, but geometry is powerful, and over time that deviation grew broader, and it came to delineate my life in ways beyond the imaginings of my daydreaming, dewy-eyed, teenage, queerdo self. Happy Pride, everyone.